Hey everyone! So I am right outside of one of my local thrift stores, and I came here for a specific thing, not to be thrifting, but any of you who are thrifters, you know you cannot go into a thrift store without trying to find something to resell. So that's what I'm doing here, and I'm going to show you guys our Halloween section. So we're going to go look at the Halloween stuff and see what we can find, if anything, and I'm going to look for my one thing that I came here to look for too for my daughter. So let's go in and see what we can find. Alright, so I am voicing over my recording here because it's just kind of weird to talk in the thrift store while you're shopping around, so I will talk to you while I'm rewatching my recording. So I always, when I first walk into the thrift store, I always see what their specials are and see what they have going on. So like Orange Tag clothing right now are 50% off. They do have some things that are like 50 cents an item, so they are usually labeled in the front. I always look through, I love Halloween time. I'm going to look through all the kids' stuff. I'm looking for Disney store. I'm looking for vintage, like this was a really cute little dress, but it was a handmade, didn't have a tag on it, so I went ahead and passed that up. But I look for anything that stands out that could possibly be unique or just kind of an individual type item. So I inevitably, every time I don't grab a cart, I wish that I would have grabbed a cart, so I'm going to grab a cart. This is all their kids stuff right off the bat. So again, more Halloween. There's a whole rack of Halloween clothes. Little detour to look at bags. I didn't find anything. They've been there for a long time, and I didn't see anything worth getting. They kind of overpriced their bags anyway, so I didn't spend a lot of time looking through. And I already have a lot that I need to be listing right now anyway, so it's just kind of fun to look through and just see if there's a gem, a hidden gem somewhere in there that you don't know, or that they don't know that is worth anything. So now I'm going to look through. What I'm really looking for is more vintage stuff and just stuff that they throw in there. Like, yes, Harley-Davidson. Thank you. I definitely grabbed that. It was for $2.29. And any vintage clothing they usually put up with the Halloween stuff. So I always love looking for vintage clothing in the Halloween section of our local thrift stores. They actually hold stuff to the side and put them out just at Halloween time. They don't really have a vintage section, unfortunately. So here I'm going through the kids' stuff again, looking for Princess Disney stuff or name brand things that I will find. Yes, please. Love this dress so much. So cute. I'll tell you guys about it later. But I did grab that. It's pretty much brand new. So what I'm checking for is making sure all the buttons are there, checking the brand, checking the price. $2.99. Yeah, that's not bad. Jelly the Pug is a really good brand. It's a boutique brand, so kind of a boho brand. So still looking through. There were a couple of Disney costumes in here, but like that's a Disney store one. It had some damage though to it, and I just didn't want to. I think that's from Hercules. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it has some stains on it, so I left that one. And then cheaper Disney, I really don't pick up. I really try to only get like Disney store. That was really cute little Minnie Mouse dress, but kids stuff doesn't sell quite as well for me. And you know, we are into mid-October, so I'm kind of what I'll probably do is go in when they start dropping the price and they start putting everything on half off, and then I'll pick up what I can and just save it in a bin or a bag for next year and try to put it out in August if I can remember to do that and remember where I kept it. But Halloween stuff is fun to look at and look through. There was like a Chewbacca kids outfit. I probably should have grabbed that, but I didn't. So I was really in a vintage mood, like really wanting to find some vintage stuff. So I wasn't really in a kids thrifting mood, even though I did look through it. Cool kimono there. It was vintage, but I don't think it had a tag in it, so it just makes it harder to list when you don't have a tag on something. And finding those keywords and name brands and sizes and fabric content, all that good stuff. So sometimes you will find stuff in the vintage stuff that's not even, or in the Halloween stuff that has nothing to do with Halloween. And so it's always good to look through just in case. Just in case I've found my highest selling item was found in the Halloween section a couple years ago. It was a vintage real fur stole that was just beautiful and amazing. And I think I bought it for like $3 and sold it for over 200. It was absolutely gorgeous. You have to be careful though. Okay, so I'm moving on, going to the pictures, and I found this lovely piece that I will tell you about later also. I'll show you in my haul at the end of this video, and we'll talk about that. I fell in love with this like immediately, and that little girl came home with me. Yes, please. I don't typically look through the frames very often. I was just kind of peeking. I always like to keep my options open. And again, you know, I'm pretty limited in my knowledge. So if you guys see anything, you know, as I'm walking through, just send me a comment below. Or if you see something that you kind of want, I can always go back and see if it's still there. But yeah, I did grab that. I always look in the mugs too, just because I have a thing for mugs. I am a huge coffee drinker, and so I love really cool mugs. And so I look for vintage, I look for big, like those cool mugs right there. They're nice and big. And they are vintage. They're Hall brand, made in USA. I didn't really look them up. There was 3 of them. If there were 4 of them, I may have gotten them, but they were $2 each, and I'm kind of a cheapskate, so I didn't have a lot of time. I was very limited on time, so I didn't have a time to look stuff up and look up brands or anything like that. So I'm just kind of aesthetically looking. So I'm looking at just what draws my attention, what attracts me. There's more false graph. Don't buy it. It does not sell. I've learned through experience. This is more of like the tchotchke area. Cool. This was just a cool chicken pottery thing. And it was signed and had the artist's name on it from 1986. Probably somebody handmade it. But I'm always looking in this section too, just because things will catch my eye. And I think that they're really cool. So again, I didn't have a lot of time to look things up. But I do like looking through this just in case I find something that is interesting and, you know, fun to look at. So just glassware. This was a cool set right here that I wasn't sure where. I think it was Japanese. It was probably Japan. But I left that behind because I didn't have time to look it up. So I love this little tiny ashtray. It's just a cute little trinket dish, but 69 cents, like that's my price range. Yes, I totally got that because it's really cool. So you can see I've got a few things in my cart, not a lot. So vases, I am not very good with. I love vintage bakeware and cookware. Like that's kind of more my thing just because I am a baker. So look at this cool glass. Oh my gosh, totally from the 70s. 39 cents. I probably should have grabbed it. I wish they would have had like a set of them. If they would have had a set, I totally would have grabbed those and just put them in my kitchen. But I guess I could have just grabbed one too. Maybe I'll go back and see if it's still there. But it was pretty cool. So now we're going more into like the Halloween, like they have boxes of stuff over here and lots of pumpkins. I really didn't see a whole lot of vintage Halloween stuff that was there. They have like a whole row of hats, and I love vintage hats, but I didn't really see any true vintage one. They had some vintage style ones, but not any true vintage. Lots of people looking through the Halloween stuff, and they just have bins and totes of stuff like that you can look through. So and just lots of tchotchke, like Halloween stuff, masks, different things. So again, I am always looking for vintage, keeping my eye out for vintage belts, vintage ties, anything that's like those suspenders there. Those were pretty cool, but I didn't really want to pay $2.99 for them. It's hard to pay $2.99 for something that you know if you were at the bins you could pay like 59 cents easily or 25 cents for them by the pound. So I'm moving on. There's a whole nother Halloween section that I want to get to that has like 3 racks of vintage clothes and all kinds of stuff. So, oh, distracted. So easy to get distracted by Glassware. Those were really cool. But again, I didn't have time to look them up, so I left them behind. But Avon, yeah, no, I will leave that behind in a heartbeat. So just some more little fun things. And now I'm going to look through more of the vintage clothing and see if I can find some stuff. I'm looking at labels. If you want to know how to find out if something is really vintage, like look at the label. The label will usually tell you if the label looks old, if it's made in other places other than China, it's usually more vintage. So a lot of these are just regular old costumes, a lot of homemade costumes that they have hanging up. But I have found such cool vintage clothes in these racks over the past few years that I always look. Vintage prom dresses. Most of the ones that I've seen so far have just been kind of stained. That one's actually not a vintage one. So I left that one, but it's kind of like a retro style. Just more. These are all the adult costumes over in these rows, so I like looking through these to try to find something. So I'm looking for fabrics, I'm looking for prints that remind me, oh, there's one right there. Definitely 60s and definitely homemade. I ended up not getting this one. Kind of wish that I would have, but it was $6. I think I might wait for it to go on sale. Hopefully it'll still be there. This is actually I believe this is like a maternity gown. I was looking at it, I'm like, this looks familiar. Like a hospital gown type thing that you would bring yourself into the hospital. So more stuff. I've also found some amazing old like wedding dresses in here that have sold for $100 or more. It's like old Jessica McClintock, like 70s prairie dresses. Oh my gosh. I haven't seen any of those this year, but I have found a couple of those in the past that brought me some good money. Sold one dress to Russia a couple years ago for almost $100. That is a vintage prom dress right there. I would have gotten that except that it had a lot of discoloration to it just from storage and probably not being stored correctly. This is definitely vintage 60s. The beading on it is incredible. It's so well made. And it's probably a dress, like a mini dress. So there's the tag. So you can tell by the tag that it is old and it is vintage. $4.99, I went ahead and got that. Okay, let's talk about what I got. You guys want to see it? I know you saw some of it in the thrift store when I was there, but here is what I picked up today, even though I wasn't supposed to pick up anything. And I didn't even find what I was supposed to be looking for, which I didn't find. So anyway, I'm going to show you what I got. All right. So cute. Okay, I typically don't pick up kids' clothes, but you kind of can't not pick up Hannah Anderson when it's 99 cents and half off of that. This was 50 cents. It is a little skirt. It's so stinking cute. My older daughter loves these. This is a size 110 European, which is a size 5. It is my daughter's size, but we're going into fall, so we'll see how much she grows. I'll hang on to it. I have several Hannah Andersons this same size. So what I'll do is I will hang on to this. If it's too small for her in the spring, summer, I will lot together the ones she already has and then sell them as a lot of Hannah Anderson size 5. So now in the video you saw me pick up this. This is Jelly the Pug. And this is a boutique brand, and it is so cute. Oh my gosh, it's a size 7. It has these cute little ties on the side. It has fabric covered buttons all the way down. These cute little pockets with ruffle trim on them. Now, my 7-year-old, I don't know if she would wear this, so I'm probably gonna sell it for between $18 to $25. I think I could easily get, especially if I list it right now, with these great fall colors, and it is 100% cotton. But yeah, Jelly the Pug, that is definitely one to pick up. So yes, on that Jelly the Pug dress. And again, it was in the Halloween stuff. So another thing in the Halloween stuff is this amazing vintage mod, like 60s. It could have been a top or it could have been a dress for a very tiny little person. It does have a wide hem on it, but the beading on this is just incredible. Like, it's so heavy, and I don't see any missing beads on it. And then the back is the same. Like, it's got this amazing hand beaded trim work all over and these cute little bows, and it buttons all the way down the back, kind of like a wedding dress. I don't know, I'm sure there's a term for that type of button, but it's fully lined, and it did have a tag in it. Let's see. So here's the tag. Torino Originals. I looked this up on eBay and I cannot find any like this, but that's not going to deter me. It's so beautiful. The beading is so nice. It does look like it's hand stitched, so it could have been by just made by somebody, but it is a small, I mean, the arm holes are fairly tiny, so it is a size small or even extra small, but super cute. I'll put that up. It's like a go-go dress. I'll put that up on eBay, and hopefully it does have a few little marks on it, but it's really not that bad. And I paid $4.99 for it. So yeah, so that's pretty cool. I'll probably put it up for between $25 and $30. I found these cool little Harley-Davidson denim overalls. Again, kids. I know I'm not supposed to be picking up kids stuff, but they were $2.29, and I saw several Harley-Davidson overalls listed for right around $20 to $25 on eBay. So yes, I will definitely be listing those, and these are a size 24 months. So $2.29 into $25. I'm guessing I'll probably get like $15 to $20 for them. So that's great. Okay, another cool find in the Halloween section was this amazing leather 80s jacket. It's got like this dolman sleeve. Look at that suede. It is actually very, very well made. It's made in Mexico. It may be even older than 80s, but I'm thinking it's 80s. It's genuine leather made in Mexico. It's fully lined. There's no tears in the lining. The leather smells great. And it is a size large. So I would model this, but I already tried it on and it's too big. It's too big for me. So so there's the front, and it's all leather. And there's the back. Isn't that amazing? Oh my gosh, it's so funny. So funny. So what did I pay for this? $3.99. Yes, please, all day. I'm probably gonna put this up for about $40 because it really is in good condition for $3.99. So I'll put it up for $40 and see what happens, because this is a pretty awesome vintage jacket there. Okay, so another thing I think I saw you guys see me grab, this is kind of like an otagiri style. I don't think it's actually otagiri, which is a Japanese stoneware, but it's got that speckled glazed stoneware. I love this. I love otagiri style. Now, it is an ashtray. So it's like your own personal little mini-sized ashtray, or it's like a trinket dish. That's what I would use it for, as a trinket dish. It still has a tag on the bottom of it. I'm not really sure, like, if that's the original tag. It says $1.19. The Craft House, As Usual, The Unusual. Etowah, Tennessee. I don't know if I'm saying that right. All you Tennessee people, you can correct me. My dishes are falling from the sink. But it is really cool. It's got this cool floral pattern inside. I'm sure it was never used, but it's just a really neat little dish. And it was 69 cents. And I actually got it for half off, so it was 35 cents. So I'll list it for like $10 and see what happens. But it would be a cute little trinket dish too. So I also I picked up a brooch. It was $1.29. It was really pretty. I love costume jewelry and stuff, and I just thought it was really pretty. There it is. Now I already broke it, so I'm probably just gonna give it to my sister-in-law because it would look really pretty on a sweater. But I broke one of the leaves off of it, so I'm a dork. I was looking at it. And the last cool thing I got was this crewel. If you saw this in the beginning of the video, this is a crewel piece of artwork, and it's incredible. It's thick, it's got this thick glass, it's heavy. It's got a really beautiful butterfly design on it and beautiful heavy wood frame. This is the back of it. It's very well done, sealed. Like, it's really, really, really well done. So this is most likely going up on my wall because it's really cool. Probably from the 70s, maybe 60s, but most likely 70s. So you can correct me if I'm wrong. But it's matted really well, and the glass is a really nice professional glass. It's an anti-glare, as I glare it at you, glass. But anyway, so that was my last find, and I only paid $5.99 for it. One that was similar to this that I saw on eBay sold for about $50. So unless somebody's super interested in that and would like that, otherwise that's going to be going on my wall. So that was my haul for the day. Just a few things, but it's amazing what you can find in the Halloween stuff. Thanks for watching. Have a great night.